I'm going to tell another family van story. A friend of mine reminded me the other day of a good one. Going to the dump in the van, and the Ford Econoline van, this 1970 van that my dad had, the rear view mirrors on both the driver's side and the passenger side were this kind of hoop shape. Well, actually like a reverse C kind of thing, kind of squared off C. And it was a tube, and then the mirror was kind of in the middle of that thing. But the tube was perfect as a perch for a parrot. And we had a parrot. We've had a number of parrots over the years, but we had this parrot name. His name was Figs, Colonel Figs. He was a blue-fronted Amazon. He was my favorite of all our parrots we had. And my dad used to like to take him to the dump. And he would put Colonel Figs up on the perch while we were unloading the van. And the old dump in San Juan used to get a nice breeze off the ocean in the afternoon. And there was always seagulls at the dump. That's where seagulls go to retire, I believe. It's to the dump. And Figs was standing there, and the wind was blowing, and something scared the seagulls, and the seagulls all took off, and they all flew up and around. And Figs, you could tell when he was getting excited because his pupils would get really small and they'd dilate and get really small. And he looked, and he fluffed his feathers, and he had his wings clipped so he couldn't fly, but there was enough wind that day that he took off, and he barely gained, and he got some altitude, and he got up there and he flew around with the seagulls thinking he's a seagull. And it was funny. I remember looking up there as this green bird flying around in this giant flock of white birds. And anyway, the seagulls decided they were going to land again and come back down and do their thing at the dump. And so Figs figured, well, I'll do the same thing, but he didn't, because his wings were clipped. His approach landing speed was much higher than he anticipated, and he crashed into the ground. And then the last thing of all, the nearest seagull next to him just pecked him really hard on the head. And anyway, he was all right. We got him and put him back in the van and took him home.